Linus Tech Tips coverage of CES 2014 is brought to you by NCIX.com, your source for great technology, selection, and service, along with Corsair Memory and Western Digital. We're here in the Cooler Master suite with a couple of case concepts that Cooler Master would really like to get your feedback on in a couple of different ways. So first up behind me, we've got the HAF Stacker. This is that modular case idea where they've got the 925 and then they've got the 915, and then you can put another 915 on the bottom, or you can put two 915s or even three 915s together and you slide them all together. But they want to go beyond that in terms of customizability and start offering upgrade kits, whether it's things like, I don't know, USB 3.1 comes out in the future and you need like a new, module here, or whether, okay, here's a mock-up for a slimline optical drive. Maybe you want to add that to one of the 915s, so you don't care about front USB, but you want one of these. Okay, cool, go ahead, have one of those. They've also got a mock-up here for a windowed side panel for the 915. Maybe you want to just build a dedicated system just inside that case. You want to upgrade that piece. Maybe you want, like, I don't know, hard drive cage add-ons. Okay, these are pretty standard. These are pretty straightforward. Those are available for lots of cases. But the point of all of this is, guys, they want to hear your feedback in terms of what kind of upgrades you can think of that you'd like to see for the HAF Stacker series, so that they can continue to develop their products around the needs of the people who are interested in this very unique and very flexible chassis. And here's an interesting one. This is very much pre-production, engineering sample, whatever you want to call it. And the key here, guys, is Cooler Master wants to hear from you what you like and what you dislike about their prototype of the HAF XC. So the first thing that's going to stand out to you guys is, of course, this wraparound windowed side panel. This is pretty much a finished idea, but of course it doesn't hurt to let them know what you think about it. The idea is that most of the hardware is on this side, so you've got your motherboard, CPU, memory, graphics card, and then all of the cable management is actually wrapped around the back. Now, it's not like we haven't seen this before, but who came up with the internal layout first is one of those things where if you dig around enough, you'll be able to settle the debate on your own. Anyway, we're not going to get into that here, but the overall features are it does support a 360mm radiator in the front. In fact, the one that's installed in there right now is an upcoming Glacier series. So that is the Swiftech Cooler Master collaborative product with a 360mm radiator, as well as, of course, the integrated high-quality CPU block and pump and all that good stuff that we found on the 240mm Glacier series cooler. Now, a bit of a tour of the rest of this case. The top has kind of a 3D mesh, as does the front. It kind of reminds me of the Jambox by Jawbone, except that it's not nearly as bad sounding, although they do have some kind of loud fans in there right now. Your front I/O is taken care of right here with two USB 2, two USB 3, and front panel audio. The switch is kind of a large switch that you can press. Of course, it's a switch anyway. Okay, you've got two 5¼ inch bays, and this is kind of a neat thing. It's intended to be stood upright like this, or you can actually turn the little Cooler Master badge, and you can use it as a desktop case as well. Once we open up the other side panel, we'll find the power supply, all the loose cables that were plugged into all the stuff on the other side, as well as room for four 2.5-inch SSDs at the top of the back, and then closer to the front, I actually kind of forget, so I'm going to have to, I was hoping to cheat and do B-roll for all this, but I'm going to have to open up the case and have a look. Yes, right. We have two 5¼ inch cages to go along with the 5¼ inch bays, and then under each of those is another two 3.5-inch drive cages. All right, the last products that Cooler Master needs feedback on are the Silent Flow series fans. So this is a 1200 RPM fan that is optimized for low RPM operation. It only comes in a 3-pin configuration because DC control can be better for very, very low RPM operation when you're undervolting compared to PWM, which can have some weird electrical noises that go along with it. And they are claiming that they've had this running as low as 8 decibels in a lab. So I'm extremely excited to check that out, especially if they can get it running optimally on something like a radiator. Next up, we've got the Hybrid Flow fan. This one, again, is very experimental, one more time, and this uses axial fan technology, much like you would find on your graphics card cooler, and it exhausts air in a couple different ways. So the intake is on the side that you guys are looking at right now, and then normally you'd go, okay, so the exhaust is here, and that much is true. There's what looks like about a 70mm or 80mm fan worth of fan blades that's going to exhaust in that direction. But wait, what's this? one of the sides is actually open for sideways exhaust. So say, for example, you had an intake on the side of your case. Actually, the 800D case from Corsair is one that's kind of like this, where you have a side intake and then it's like it's blowing air in one direction and it's mostly blocked. Well, this will allow you to maybe get some hard drive airflow for your cages and then some additional airflow to your GPUs at the same time. So I'd like to hear from you guys where you could imagine installing a fan that intakes from the one side, exhausts out the other side, and then like also exhausts out one of the edges. So guys, thank you for checking out this experimental ideas video from the Cooler Master Suite here at CES 2014. Huge thanks to NCIX.com for allowing us to be here. They are our gold sponsor and they are your source for great technology, selection, and service. And of course, we want to thank our other sponsors as well, Corsair Memory and Western Digital, for allowing us to be here. Without them, we just couldn't do it.